This is a special presentation of Way 31 Sports.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night. Hello, Alabama, find a comfortable spot. We got high school football and it's coming out hot. Now here we are and the lights are shining bright. We've always been. Yeah, Way 31 is rocking all right.
With Nolan, Max, and Xavier.
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
A showdown in 4A Region 7. It's a battle of the undefeateds as West Morgan welcomes Central to Trinity for our big game Friday night game of the week. While in 6A Region 8, it's the Cotton Classic. The 62nd meeting between Buckhorn and Hazel Green is our rivalry game of the week. Welcome into the Week 3 edition of Big Game Friday Night. The weeks 0 through 2 have provided some serious excitement, and now with region play in full swing, it only gets better. Tonight in Trinity, it was a battle of two of the highest scoring teams in the state, and that's where we find Xavier Wary to run us through this shootout.
Well, Max, you know, tonight it was a battle of the unbeatens. This is Class 4A Region 7. West Morgan, they come into this one as the highest scoring team in the state of Alabama, averaging 57 points in their first three matchups. Central, on the other hand, in their first two matchups, they've averaged 48.5 points per game. Would tonight be a track meet or would the offenses cool off? This is our big game Friday night game of the week.
Tonight, we visit Trinity, home of West Morgan High School, where the Rebels host the Wildcats in this Region 7 matchup. First quarter action, Braxton Peters hands this off to the senior, Jeremy Strong, twisting his way to a first down. This drive would lead to a Rebels touchdown, and here come the Wildcats. Evan Handback on the carry, and he completely bulldozes one Rebels defender and says, if you want to bring me down, it's going to take two of you. First down, Central. Then on a rare drop back, Jackson Brewer finds Logan Parrish on this slant pattern, keeping the momentum going for Central. And then Handback decides it's time to cap this drive off with 6. Central ties the game up at 7 apiece. But the number one scoring team in the state of Alabama said, let's show everyone just what we do. Rebels in the red zone. Peters takes the snap and throws this one over two defenders to the senior Harrison Johnson for this nice touchdown grab. Rebels up 14-7. Later in the half, Peters finds Jalen Fletcher, and with great vision, elite blocking, he finds his way in the end zone untouched for his second score of the half. Rebels with the 21-7 advantage. And after a Central fumble on the kickoff, Peter says, I ain't done yet, and this time spreads the wealth to Tiarius Mosley. Rebels would dominate the first half, going up 28-7. And they never looked back, winning this one 56-14.
I'm here with head coach Drew Phillips. The final score, 56-14, another dominating victory for the West Morgan Rebels. Coach, we're going to talk about that offense because you all are averaging 57, but let's talk about that defense first and foremost. 55 a week ago, 14 tonight. What stood out?
Well, you know, this week was all about eye discipline and game tackling. You know, and I felt like our guys did a really good job of that for the most part, and came out and really rose to the challenge right there. Coach Stiles, our defense coordinator, did a tremendous job getting guys in spots, and they rallied the ball and really rose to the challenge.
You scored the most points in the entire state of Alabama. Have you ever been a part of a team where the offense has clicked this well?
You know, I really hadn't. I feel like we're right now playing really good ball and really clicking on all cylinders, you know, and the challenge moving forward is, you know, how are we going to respond? How are we going to handle, the success that we've had, and how are we going to move forward? And, you know, I think our guys are resilient, and I think they see that it does take every single day in what we do and how we live. So, yeah, you know, I haven't been part of an offense like this, but I sure am enjoying it.
There you go. And, Coach, listen, I know it's not even 10 minutes after that final buzzer, but you all have Rogers next week on the road. What is it going to take to remain undefeated?
Well, you know, it's all about us. At the end of the day, you know, we know Rogers will come out. They're a well-coached team. They're going to play extremely hard. You know, it's over there. So, you know, we just got to be the best we can be each day, you know, Monday all the way through Thursday. And I think if we do that, you know, and handle our business, scoreboard will take care of itself.
4-0 has to sound good, Coach. Congratulations.
Appreciate you, Zach.
And West Morgan, again, as I just mentioned, they won 56-14, beating Central. As we just said, their next opponent is going to be Rogers. As far as Central is concerned, it's their first loss on the season. They are 2-1. Next week, they travel to Brooks. I'm reporting in Trinity tonight. Xavier Wary, Way 31 Sports.
All right, thank you, Xavier. How about that? The Rebels stay unbeaten, moving to 4-0 with the big win. And while that was a great game, that region boasts a lot of talent. A perfect example is what we saw tonight at Deshler with them hosting East Lawrence. Now, Deshler celebrating 100 years of football, and what better way to celebrate that than with some turn back the clock style running. Quintavious Harden with the big gain, 24 yards on this rumble. A little later, three plays actually. 3 yards out, Javacious Carroll puts it in for a touchdown. Now that would be a problem for East Lawrence because they could not get anything going on offense. Screen pass, more like running into a screen door this time. And later, Brylan White looking long. That one is going back the other way as Ernest Smith picks it off, and Deshler goes on to win this one, 69-18. Staying in Region 7, Brooks took it to West Limestone tonight. They would pick up a road win, 32-17, while Wilson fell to Rogers, 45-zip. Let's move things to 7A. We'll start in Region 4, where tonight the Grissom Tigers were hosting the Bob Jones Patriots. The Pats had won their last 2 meetings against the Tigers, outscoring them 89-0 in those games. And if you're looking for offense, look away. The Pats on an early drive, 3rd down, and Tyron Washington on the carry. He gets 1 block, but that's all this time. Bob Jones would go for it on 4th. No good, so it's Grissom ball. Seth Leburn back to pass, and he's going to let it rip to Cowan Washington. He's quickly into open space, but pushed out of bounds after that. And the defense was the star of this game as Leburn was immediately under pressure after the high snap, and Isaiah Spencer's got nowhere to go, swarmed by a group of Pats. It would be the same story on the other side with the Bob Jones offense scratching their heads, but they'd eventually get it going, pulling out another win, 28-10. Now let's move over to Madison City Stadium where the Jets are hosting the Panthers. James Clemens has had Huntsville's number recently, winning each of their last 5 meetings. We'll jump in with the Panthers on a long opening drive. Marlon Jones from the 2-yard line, and that's a good old-fashioned 6-pointer, touchdown Huntsville. But the Jets aren't going to let that fly. Ty Marsh with the screen pass to Ty Doty. I mean, when your initials are TD, it's kind of hard not to score, right? Doty turns on the burners as he runs downfield like a jet ready for takeoff, and no one can stop him. We are tied. Later, Jackson McClung has Gardner Farrell for a 12-yard pickup and a 1st down, but that wouldn't be enough tonight as the Jets fly high, winning 45-31. Let's head west to the River City. It's the Austin Black Bears hosting the Florence Falcons in Decatur. The Falcons have fallen in 7 of their last 8 meetings with the Black Bears, looking to put that aside tonight. Handoff, and Gavin Fuqua gets a nice gain through the Florence defense. They'd hit a roadblock, though, when a pass attempt takes too long, and it's a big sack by Daleon Sanders. Florence then takes possession, and senior quarterback Leo Glover throws a bullet to Tyron Cunningham, who nearly takes it all the way before being taken down just before the end zone. And almost like being served a touchdown on a platter, Glover pushes it through for the touchdown, giving the Falcons a 7-zip lead. Florence takes the home win in upset style, 20-7. And wrapping up 7A Region 4, the Senators took the trip down 431 to Albertville, and they'll have that easy bus ride back as they defeat the Aggies 58-0. Well, it's already time for us to take our first time out of the show, but don't you dare touch that remote, because when we return, it's out to Newmarket for our rivalry game of the week.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday night. Go Wildcats! You're watching Big Game Friday night. Go Eagles!
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
Welcome back into Big Game Friday night, everyone. By week 3, we're already in region play, and that sets up a number of rivalry games, but few are bigger than the Cotton Classic. Hazel Green and Buckhorn battling it out as both squads search for their first region win of the season. We jump in close to the end of the first half. Buckhorn's Shamarian Landrum on the carry, and you can see he's going to try and find his gap, but Hazel Green is going to send him back a couple yards. The Bucks decide to go for another run play, and Landrum on the carry again. Nobody able to take him down as his tremendous speed is the reason the Bucks get a 1st down. A little later, Cameron Swain on the carry, and Hazel Green's going to be right there to stop him on this play, but Swain isn't done yet. He's going to decide to attempt another rush, and that agility on full display here, giving him another Buckhorn 1st down. A little later, Christopher Douglas on a carry, and a quick approach by Jamarcus Garrett, stopping Buckhorn from the gain. What an effort by Garrett. Now over to the Hazel Green side. Franklin Anderson Jr. on the carry. He's going to find his gap, but the Bucks get to him to end the half. In the end, the Bucks take the Cotton Classic 28-21.
tremendous respect for Coach Wilbur and his team, but our guys played their hearts out too. That was a great football game. It's the Cotton Classic for a reason. Man, 28-21, just a great ball game, great atmosphere for high school football.
Now we turn our attention to the only undefeated team in the region, the Lee Generals, squaring off with May Jemison. Jags on the early in attack. Garyon Taylor makes a quick move to his left, and he's got room, but he avoids the contact. Not going to happen this time as he takes it up the middle, knocked around and thrown down, but he lands in the end zone for a Jaguars touchdown, and he's juiced. Now it's Lee's time to move the ball. Handoff to Carlin Long, and he's got nowhere to go as the Jags show off their closing speed. And believe it or not, the Generals undefeated no more as the Jaguars take it 19-18. Entering Friday, Fort Payne and Gadsden City accounted for 2 of the 3 teams with perfect Region 8 records. Obviously, only one could walk away 2-0 in region play, and it's not the Wildcats this time as Fort Payne falls 63-41. Let's move over to 6A Region 7 for one of the best contests the night had to offer. A battle of the unbeatens between Athens and Muscle Shoals. Keep in mind the Golden Eagles have not beaten the Trojans since 2014. Early in the first quarter, Muscle Shoals with the ball. Preston Carroll, and get a load of this. Fired out of the backfield, 38 yards for the score, and that is a beautiful run if I do say so myself. Later in the first, Athens with the ball, and it's your man, quarterback Brogan West. He's going to find Jay Sean Ridgel for the big gain, and that's going to set up another big play for Athens. This time, West with the ball again, and he fires it into the end zone. Touchdown, Athens. Muscle Shoals would go on to win this one 66-28. And over to Milton Frank, where the Columbia Eagles were looking to snap the nation's longest losing streak, now standing at 74 games. The Hartzell Tigers were hoping to make it 75. We jump into this one with the Eagles already down a score with Hartzell knocking at the door. Just yards away from Pater, Lincoln Bryant gets the handoff and his blockers clear the path as he stumbles in. Number 6 in for 6, and the Tigers go up 14. Columbia desperately trying to avoid yet another loss. They go to the pitch play, but just like almost everything they've tried in the last few years, this just won't do it as the Tigers gain up and Hartzell would force a punt. The Tigers don't waste this drive, getting in position as Landon Blackwood connects with Noah Lee, and now they're in the red zone, and guess what? The Tigers are going to pounce. It's a big man carry, the fullback, Stinnett Hagman, and he bulldozes his way in to make it 21-zip. Now, if you're playing Madden, the opponent usually quits about now, and the losing streak continues as the Eagles fall 44-0. Coleman and Decatur are both off to 1-2 starts this year. A win would bring the victor back to 500 on the season. Decatur already up 7-6 when they get Brandon Duper. He says, let's get this done, throwing a missile to Reese Dorsey to put the Red Raiders back up by a score. Don't count out the Bearcats, though. Tanner Gaines connects with wideout Wyatt Buchanan for a first down, and that drive would just keep going. Jackson Sessions takes the handoff from Gaines and brings it in to make it a 2-point game. They go for 2, and the conversion is good as Gaines throws a perfect pass to Buchanan. Buchanan would tie that game up with that reception as the Bearcats win on the road, 21-14. Moving things over to 5A Region 8, East Limestone still searching for win number 1 on the season against Brewer, and they don't get it tonight, falling 41-16, while West Point tried to hand the Russellville Golden Tigers their first loss of the season and didn't come close as the Golden Tigers stay golden 48-14. Ardmore, another team that has yet to find the win column this young season, squaring off with a 1-2 Lawrence County squad. They can't keep the momentum though, and they lose to the Red Devils 56-27. All right, well, it's time for me to catch my breath again, but don't move a muscle. Coming up next on Big Game Friday Night, we turn the spotlight on 4A action with more scores and highlights right after the break.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday night. Go Rebels!
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
You're watching Big Game Friday Night on Way 31 News.
All right, listen to them go. I might need to add that song to my Spotify playlist. That's why the West Morgan Marching Band is our Star Market Spirit Award winner this week. That bunch, 65 strong, is a huge part of what makes game nights in Trinity so special. Congratulations to Tim Clinton and the Rebels. Now let's get back to the action. Entering Friday, 5A Region 7 boasted 4 undefeated squads, among them the Guntersville Wildcats. Lance Reese's squad hoping to move to 3-0 with a win over Douglas, and it's homecoming for the Wildcats with their offense clicking on all cylinders. Deep pass to Adrian Waller, and Guntersville is inside enemy territory. And their ground game takes over from there. The handoff to Enelson Delva, and he is hit but twists his way into the end zone for the early 7-0 lead. Douglas goes 3 and out, and Guntersville marches right back into the inside. This time it's Julian Jordan in the end zone, and it's a 2-score lead for Guntersville to end the first. The Eagles defense doing stuff, but they couldn't get it done this time. Guntersville fans going home happy, 56-14. How about we check in on some of the other unbeatens? Sardis also trying to move to 3-0 with a win over Arab, but they can't pull it out as they fall 29-26, while Boaz squared off with Cleburne County in a non-region game, and they win on the road 35-21. 4A Region 8 is wide open. Get this, no team has 2 wins yet, and 4 squads entered the night without a single win. Madison County was one of the teams looking to break the skid as they traveled to New Hope. And in a game like this, you never know what's going to happen. Lucas Terry back to pass, and he's got Dawson Cameron in open space, but the Tigers pounce on him. I'm talking 5 or 6 guys in on that one, and the Indians would just keep it going, sticking to the ground as they made a push to the end zone. Time after time, they roll with the ground game. After a number of tries, it's eventually Dominic Scott that's able to get across the line. New Hope would go on to take this one by 20, 35-15. Another winless squad in the region, JP2, and the Falcons facing a tall test against the high-scoring Westminster squad. JP2 down a score, but not for longy. Luke Songy sees a gap and takes it, rolling to his left and finding the edge as he strolls in to tie this game. But everyone knows Brandon Mush is dangerous with the ball in his hands. Apparently someone forgot to tell JP2 as the Wildcats quarterback breaks free. While he used his legs earlier, he proved why he's one of the best dual-threat guys around as he creates time with the scramble and lets Kyle Everlith eat as he hits him in the end zone for the Westminster lead. In the end, it wasn't that close as the Wildcats win 47-28. The DAR Patriots also found themselves winless, hoping to throw a 1 in the win column against Priceville, but they would fall to the Bulldogs 50-12. North Jackson in the same boat, off to an 0-2 start. Randolph looking to get back to 500. The Raiders get the win 36-6. Now we've reached our final time out of the show. You already know what I'm going to tell you. Don't go anywhere. We've got some serious 2A action coming up you need to see between Pisgah and Collinsville. That's next on Big Game Friday Night.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday Night. Go Tigers!
It's the McCurry Van and Car Rental Big Game Friday Night.
Classmates.
You
On behalf of Guntersville High School, the administration would like to thank the class of 1993.
Welcome back into Big Game Friday Night, everyone. In 2A Region 7, no teams have put up more points than Pisgah and Collinsville, and the unbeaten squads met tonight at Civitan Stadium. The Panthers have only allowed 6 points so far this season. We jump in. Pisgah has it 1st and 10 from midfield, and Legion McCrary is going to scramble up the middle, stopped hard by Eli Griggs and Titan Morton. Pisgah is going to have a quick pass. It's going to be a scramble for a few more yards after the reception, and that's going to be a 1st down for the Eagles. So now with another 1st down, they're in a goal-to-go situation, and you know it. The running back's going to power it in. McCrary powers it in for 6. 2-point conversion is good, and Pisgah leads 8-0. Minutes later, Pisgah at the Collinsville 31, and guess who? It's the running back again, powering through and stretching for the touchdown. Again, the 2-point conversion is good, and the Eagles lead 16-zip. Pisgah would go on to get the win 66-13. Now, it's not often that Fife doesn't have a perfect record this early in the season, but after shutting out North Sand Mountain 53-zip last week, Paul Benefield's squad looked to keep it rolling against a winless Whitesburg team. We join this one in the 4th quarter. Fife is leading 47-zip already. Red Devils 1st and 10 from midfield, and Maddox Doss with the keeper. He's going to take several hits along the way, but he is going 18 yards for a Fife first down. A little bit later, it's going to be Hayden Parker, and he's going to take this one right up the middle. That will be an 8-yard gain. Now, Parker obviously having success that time, he says, guess what? I think I'm going to do it again. And it would work out. A Parker stand-up touchdown as the Red Devils reach the end zone and win this one 54-zip. Of course, the gridiron grind doesn't stop. Tonight, we've got a full slate of exciting games tomorrow. Up first, 10th-ranked Alabama squaring off with USF. According to multiple reports, it will be Tyler Buckner under center for the Tide in that one, which you can watch right here on Way 31 at 2:30. While down on the Plains, the Tigers will look to move to 3-0 and continue their dominance over the Bulldogs when they hit the field against Samford at 6. And of course, a massive thank you to everyone that helps make this show possible. As I told you guys before, I'm the only one you see on camera aside from Xavier, but there are so many people that make this show a reality, from everybody in the booth to all our shooters and everybody that's helping get all the scores in. It would not be possible with all of them, without all of them, of course. And a massive thank you to all of you guys for tuning in. We're going to finish the same way we do every week with our big game Friday night top lights. Good night, everybody.
You've been watching a special presentation of Way 31 Sports.